this is going to be my hunting setup for 2023. Bow that I'm going to shoot this year is going to be a 2023 Elite Omnia. I set this bow up a couple months ago and since have brought it to a couple events and have just had a lot of success behind this bow. So that's really why I'm taking it into the field with me this year. I just have the utmost confidence in this bow, the way it's set up, and how well it shoots for me. I brought it to a total archery challenge in Tennessee and shot really well there, had a lot of fun. And then I brought it to the First Form Outdoors November Knockdown Finals that we did in April, that we qualified for back in November. And I was able to go ahead and take first place in that event, winning $10,000 and a 1-year pro staff contract with First Form Outdoors. I will link that video up here, guys. If you haven't checked it out, I encourage you to go check it out. This bow right here is what helped me cash in on that $10,000. And I think one of the reasons why this bow helped me cash out on that $10,000 is because for how forgiving this bow has been to me. Now, I did make some bad shots, and those are always going to be bad shots. It doesn't matter what equipment you're shooting, whether it's a Matthews, Hoyt, Elite, PSE, Bear. If you're not comfortable, if you're not making good shots with your equipment, there's really no company or no bow that's going to fix that. So instead of maybe buying the new hotness every year, if you just focused on shooting your equipment that you have, or if you shoot your equipment really well, maybe there's no need to go buy a new bow. But for me, I like tinkering. I like playing with different things. I very rarely will leave a setup from year to year because I just like trying all the new shit that comes out every year. So this might be the same bow that I built in that tuning video, but I have changed a few things on here since then. And if you're a subscriber to the channel, you know that. So one of the things that I haven't changed is the strings. I'm still shooting the Threads hot pink strings on here, and controversial. Some people like them, some people hate them. I like them, so that's why they're on my bow. And if you don't like them, don't put them on your bow. Strings are the same, the arrow rest is the same, Hamsky Epsilon. Some things that have changed. I changed the mods on this bow. I went from the performance mod to the smooth mod. The reason why I did that, shooting at like TAC, shooting at the First Form Knockdown Finals, I don't really need to be, I can just literally grab it, yank this thing back into the back wall. I don't need to be super smooth on my draw. I don't need to slow draw it. I don't need to let down real easy because it doesn't really matter. It's just people around. But in a hunting situation, when you're trying to be super sneaky and you're trying not to be seen by animals, making sudden movements is definitely a way to get you seen. Changing the mod to the smooth mods definitely takes some of the roughness out of the draw cycle on this Elite. I wouldn't say it's rough, it's a little stiff. So it takes some of the stiffness out of it, smooths it up a little bit, takes some of the peaks and valleys and just kind of rounds them off. And it does have an effect on arrow performance. I'm losing a few feet per second, but at the wingspan that I have, shooting the poundage at 70 pounds, I'm not really losing that much. So for me, the cost is worth the trade-off. Moving down to the sight, I am still shooting this HHA Tetra sight. This is the same one that I shot last year. I did shoot the HHA 4-pin last year. Love it. Great scope. For the Total Archery Challenge and the First Form Knockdown Finals, shot a single pin scope for both of those events. I really had that bow set up for the November Knockdown Finals. The reason why I ran a single pin at that event, so I knew what the yardages were on each target throughout the day, throughout the course. So for me, I just wanted to take away the confusion of accidentally shooting the wrong pin, especially under high metabolic stress and mental fatigue during those workouts. It's one less thing I had to think about. I knew as long as I pulled the bow back, put the scope in the peep, and then put the dot on the target, that I was going to hit where I needed to. For hunting season, I am a huge advocate of running a multi-pin or a multi-pin slider pin. The reason why I like shooting multi-pins during hunting season is because animals don't always do what you want them to do. They don't always come in on the same trail that they should. They don't always stop broadside perfectly at 20 yards. So for me, I like shooting a multi-pin sight. The 20, 30, 40 are my 3 fixed pins. And I know for me, I can pin gap 20 to 30, 30 to 40 pretty well. I practice it a lot. I don't always sit there and shoot at 20 and 30 and 40. I might shoot at 27, 33, 36, 39. You know, I might shoot at these different yardages to just kind of play the pin gaps more than I would the pins themselves. And for me, I like shooting that because on the fly, you don't have to make any adjustments. You can just worry about executing a good shot. So for me, I like shooting multi-pin. And then what you get with this Tetra and this HHA combination is that they have a little pin just over the bubble as the floater down here. You can float that. For me, I can float it from 50 all the way to 120, and I can actually float it a little higher than that, so I can go from like 43 all the way down to 120 yards. So if I am at a little bit farther and I need to make a secondary shot on an animal, or I'm going to tack and I want to throw some long bombs at the 80, 85, 90, 110 yard shots, I can just dial it right to it, fling some arrows, have some fun with my friends, or make that follow-up shot that I need to and not have to guess at a longer yardage. I can actually hit my rangefinder. Okay, that animal's 83 yards, dial it, send it. So that's why I like shooting a multi-pin slider. Moving down, like I said, I have not changed the rest on this. This is still a Hamskea Epsilon rest. Shot this for the last couple years. Well, I shot the one they had before this, and then I shot the Epsilon last year, and then I shot it now this year. It's a great rest. Pretty bomb-proof, micro adjustment. Love it. Helps tuning broadheads super easy, and I'll continue to shoot a limb-driven rest for as long as I can see in the future because they work. All right, moving down here to bars. This year I'm running a 12-inch Shrewd Vantage bar out the front, and I'm running a 7-inch Vantage bar out the back. This 12-inch bar is connected to the Shrewd Quick Disconnect, and I have 2.5 ounces of weight up front. And then on the back here, I'm running the Atlas V-bar bracket, which is the same one I ran last year on my Matthews. And I'm running about 4 ounces of weight on the back here. For me, this Atlas bar, I have it set up. It is 3 degrees out and 5 degrees down. I don't like shooting a ton of weight on my hunting bars because I'm not using them to help me aim. They're just there to help hold the bow in that place in time while that arrow is going off. If you're using a ton of weight on your bars to help you aim better, you're using your stabilizers wrong. So I said it. And then the front bar here on this Elite, and some of these other bows this year, they have actually 2 mounting brackets for your stabilizers. They have one up here at the bottom of the grip, which is very traditional, and then a lot of them have added one down here at the bottom, where they have added the little extra dampener that a lot of these companies are sending them with. Elite does it, Hoyt does it, but for me, last year I ran a 10-degree down bar on my Matthews V3X, and what that did was it got the weight kind of down into this range. So I figured instead of running a down bar again, why not just put the whole bar lower and keep all that weight lower from the quick disconnect, the whole rod, everything, keep it lower, because the lower you can get the weight on the bow, lowers the center of gravity, it helps that bow hold better. So why not? That's what I did. And for me, it seems to shoot great. Plus the other benefit of it is now when I go to take this bow and throw it over my shoulder when I'm walking around at tack, or I'm just walking around here in the yard, I can take this pocket that is right here in the riser at the base of this grip and just put it right behind my neck, and it fits really well. I'm not worried about resting the scope on my shoulder. I can just simply hold on to this bar here and everything holds right here. It's easy to walk with. If you watch that first form video, you've seen me in this position quite a bit, walking my bow around because those workouts sucked. So on this side of the bow, we're gonna talk about the quiver that I'm gonna run this year. Right now, I have a tight spot pivot quiver. This is a 2-piece quiver that will fit on this Elite Omnia. I do like a 2-piece quiver. The further you can get the hood from the gripper, for me, it just feels like it holds that arrow in that bow a little more stable. They vibrate less, they rattle less. It stays pretty well tucked in nice on the bow. It's about as close as I can get it with this drop away cord without it touching. But that's it, guys. This is the bow. This is the bow that I'm going to shoot in 2023. This is the bow that has already won me 10 grand. It's already won me a pro staff contract with First Form Outdoors. So why not take this bow that I have a ton of confidence in into the woods with me this year to punch the tags that I have in my wallet? If you want to know more about First Form Outdoors, I will put a link in the description below. You can go check it out. First Form Outdoors' whole mission is just to get people to experience more of the outdoors, to get people outside It's not an exclusively a hunting, group. We don't really care if you hunt, whether you're just gonna go four-wheeling on the weekends, whether you go on a hike. It doesn't really matter. We just want people to get outside and enjoy the outdoors. So I'll leave a link in the description below. You can go check that out. Until next time, I'm Jeff Cordero. We'll check you out in another video.